Was I born like this? Did God make a mistake? Did God force this on me? Did I choose this? Stay tuned, we'll talk about it. God bless you, friends. Thank you for joining me on Morning Nuggets this Friday morning. I pray that this video finds you exceptionally well. I want to thank you all for joining the live on Tuesday night. We had a blast. We had a great time. You're showing up. You're showing Pastor Nate some love. And I want to say thank you. And I want to see you next Tuesday at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. You know, we only go live once a week right now. So thank you for your support. Today, I want to talk about a very controversial subject. You know, Pastor Nate doesn't mind tackling those social issues that are of such great controversy. So much scuttlebutt going on out there. It all stemmed from the video that Lil Nas made. And I'm not going to speak on that anymore. I think I've exhausted the topic on that. But anyways, I'm going to talk about the conversation that actually stemmed from it. Was I born like this here? You know, a lot of people say, I was born gay. Then you have some people that say, I wasn't born gay. I chose this. It's just back and forth. And let me provide my commentary. I'm not here to judge. I'm not here to tell you you were born one way or another. I'm just going to talk about it, and maybe you can leave some comments as to what you think about it. I will give you an answer of what I feel before this exhortation ends. If you like what you hear before you click off, please subscribe if you haven't. Like and share the video. First of all, who am I to say whether you were born a certain way or not? I'm not God. I don't make the decision. I can't judge and tell you that. You could have been born gay, possibly. You could have been born straight, possibly. You could have been born mean. You could have been born nice. You could have been born pretty. You could have been born ugly. You could have been born loving with the loving nature. You could have been born full of hatred. You could have been born honest. You could have been born deceptive. And these things change. Whereas you were born gay, if you say you were born gay, now you're straight. If you were born straight, now you decide to be gay. If you were born with love, now you decide to hate. So the changes of life, we go through changes. Again, who am I to say how you were born? Science does not support the theory that there is a gay gene. There's no genetic causation for one being gay. Again, I can't make that determination. That's what science says. But then you have other researchers in science says, yes, there is. No, there isn't. So no one is really certain on the matter. But I would say this, you know you better than anybody. You know you better than any scientist, better than any researcher. Scientist doesn't support the theory, but scientist does say, well, this particular research that I did, it did say that our brain is wired in a way that we may become more susceptible to things more than other people, if you get what I'm saying, which is why we chose a certain path. That's what some researchers say. Let me give you an example of that theory. Men have testosterone, which leads them to be more competitive. We do know that's true, right? Which leads them to be more ambitious. Some researchers say it leads them to be more promiscuous. That's interesting, huh? So that's an example. Again, I can't tell you how you were born. I will say this. Some of us were born with things we didn't ask for. I know that to be true. You have babies all the time being born with different sicknesses. They didn't choose that. Sickle cell, heart issues. Some babies pass away before they develop. Some children deal with that sickness all their life. It impedes their progress because of the health issues they were born with. They didn't ask for that. Just like the physical, I believe that that can carry over into mental and emotions too. Although scientists wouldn't agree with me, I guess I'm giving you my assertions right now. But I do feel that we can be born with things that we didn't ask for. And I know I'm talking in the physical sense right now. In the scripture, the man who was born blind, he didn't ask for that. And the first thing they say, did his parents sin? Was it passed down? No. God wanted to get the glory, but the man didn't ask for that. You didn't ask for that sickness if you were born with it. Some children were born with slow brain activity, maybe due to drugs. Maybe your parent was on crack or something, or smoking or drinking excessively while they were pregnant. I think those things have some adverse effects on the pregnancy. I'm not a woman, I'm not a doctor. These are the things I'm hearing, and some of these things I saw in my environment. Let me say this here. When you go to the doctor for whatever sickness, they have that little clipboard. And one of the first questions they ask you, did your mom have high blood pressure? Did your dad have high blood pressure? Why? Because that's indication that if you have a strong history in your family of high blood pressure, then you're more likely to get it, which means that was passed down. And sometimes that's not the case. If you have high blood pressure, no, my mom didn't have it, my dad didn't have it. So it just depends on the person. What am I trying to say? Some things you were born with and some things you weren't born with. Some things you inherited by way of your environment. Come on. So let's go back to the gay thing again. Some people were probably touched if you weren't born that way. Some people probably was violated, whatever the case. Some people felt they were born that way. There's a plethora of reasons as to why you're in the path that you are in today. But here's my spiritual take on it. Psalms 51. This is David. He was repenting. He said, I was born in iniquity. I was born in sin. I was shaped in iniquity. In sin did my mother conceive me. That's what he was saying. So that lets me know I was born with a sinful nature. I was born in sin and I didn't even ask for it. That's a blanket statement, but there are many different issues and different sins under the blanket of sin, whether it be lying, whether it be deception, whatever the case is. And we know Esau and Jacob had that problem. Remember the two twins? And when they were being born, one took on the heel of the other. They were fighting. And then, of course, when they got a wound, when they grew up, Jacob tricked the brother, to make a long story short. So he showed his colors in the womb when he was coming out. So he was a problem child in the womb, if you want to look at it like that. So you see where I'm going with that? Again, I do believe that you are born with some things, and I do believe that some things will learn. As to your situation, I can't answer that. But I will say this, friend, and I'm going to close this exhortation. However you were born, whatever you're dealing with, whether it's learned or whether it's innate behavior, if you feel like you shouldn't have it in your life, Jesus told Nicodemus this in John 3:7. He says, you must be born again. That's the solution. Whether you were born with it or not, Jesus said you must be born again. And when you're born again, you're a new creature. The things that you used to do and say in places that you used to go, you don't do those things anymore. He wipes the slate clean. Friend, I pray that this exhortation bless somebody. Prayerfully, you can use this information. If you have any questions, my email is in the description. Thank you for your support. In the meantime, be at peace and not in pieces.